What's up, AfterBuzzers? We're back in the AfterBuzz studio talking about the mid-season finale of A Million Little Things Christmas Wish List. Gary gets his Christmas wish, and Delilah gets served with papers. Let's break it all down.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Rocking around the Christmas tree, we all getting in the holiday spirit over here. I love it. I love this episode. I love that they incorporated this song into this episode. What's up, AfterBuzzers? Welcome back to the AfterBuzz Studios. We are going to break down A Million Little Things tonight for you. I am Laura Thomas Sonn, and I got a room full of amazing ladies tonight with me. We'll start with Miss Maggie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Maggie Clark.
Well, Merry Christmas, guys. It's Tay Alexandria.
Yay. Hello. I'm Yasmine Tanres.
And before we jump to our special guest that's hanging out on our chair tonight, happy birthday, Yasmine!
Happy birthday!
Thank you. And it's so good to be back. It's been
finally.
I missed you. I miss you guys so much. I've missed ranting about this whole show the entire time. These past 2 episodes, oh my God, and I can't wait to talk about it tonight.
I know. It was a fitting night for you to come back. And then hopping over to our guest spot, we got our OG panel member, Takira. What's up, back?
I miss you guys. I miss you guys too in the live chat. I miss you guys too. So I'm excited.
Happy to have you here. Looking fabulous as always. All right, y'all, we got to dive in because there is a lot to unpack in this Christmas wish list.
Oh yeah.
Let's go for it. First of all, let's just break down our overall thoughts before we really get into it. Yasmine, how did you feel about this episode? Where did it leave you?
It was, where did it leave me? A little bit off.
Yeah,
for the Christmas season. It was nice, the whole lead up to it, but then the ending I was like, oh, this is just so sad right now. I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tay, what'd you think? Oh, she got her face on.
Well, Merry Christmas, ho, 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 whatever. But here's the thing. I was very disappointed. For it to be a mid-season finale, none of my questions got answered. People still don't know that Delilah's baby is Eddie's, and Delilah never received the envelope, and who the heck is Barbara Morgan, and we still don't know John's why. So it's 4 things. I'm just we still really don't know.
We got some hints about John's why.
But I need more.
I know. I need
details. Of course. I know for storyline purposes, it needs to continue to a new season. But
Miss Maggie, what do you think?
I totally agree. To be honest, I thought that the beginning of the episode, it was very heartwarming. It was nice, but it was off to a slow start. Mm-hmm. And then they kind of packed the punch towards the end of the episode. But I agree with Tay. I'm definitely disappointed. I thought that we would have some more answers, but now there's even more questions that I have. I thought we were going to have a major revelation at this episode, but we didn't. However, I am super happy about Maggie and Gary. I love their storyline, and I am excited to see Gary there for Maggie every step of her journey with chemo.
I will say that that's kind of my my takeaway from, or my overall thoughts on this episode right now, is that while nothing else really got resolved, or I didn't really get any answers, at least we see Gary and Maggie on a path, on the same page, on a path where they are open and honest with each other and really have a shot at success, I think. So for the first time all season, I'm really rooting for this relationship to work out. Takira, what do you think?
I think a couple of our questions did get answered, just literally 2. One, John being a bad guy somewhat.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. And
called it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We called it. And then 2, Ashley and John.
Yeah.
We can't forget about that horrible thing. And then, I think I called Constance Zimmer, possibly Barbara Morgan, back in episode 2 or 3, 4, 5,
I remember you did call that.
Yeah. So we got a couple, but it's it draws us in just to take us to the next way.
I want John to be the bad guy. I was really trying to be optimistic.
I was so trying.
I know.
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like we all called it from the very beginning, and so I feel like, and we can save this for predictions, but I feel like what they showed us of what's coming in January, which feels so far away.
Oh my God.
But what's coming in January feels dark in a different way.
Right.
Like there's plenty of darkness that was happening sort of in this first season, but the new season that's coming up next year feels dark in a different way. So I'm really excited to dive into that. We're going to talk about Catherine and Eddie, Roman and Regina, Gary and Maggie, and Delilah and John. Oh, let's start with Catherine and Eddie. Let's ease ourselves into it. Let's get lukewarm first. So we really see Catherine and Eddie trying to learn how to co-parent, I think, in this episode. And a lot of Theo struggling with getting older, growing up. How long do you believe? How long do you let them hold on to their innocence? I know there's this whole thing out there right now about Santa being a lie and telling your kids from the very beginning. But as a mom, I'm gonna pour Santa into him.
Yes.
Oh,
Me too.
And it's just, I don't know. I just love the magic of Christmas, and I love the idea of that. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, how do you feel, about their co-parenting and sort of how they're navigating that, but then also how they're dealing with Theo asking these new questions?
I think they're really dealing with it as best as they can, and I thought it was very sweet to see Catherine really dedicating her time and it was just so cute how they were trying to make the clothes and the gingerbread house. The only question that I did have was the moment that everybody was at Delilah's house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why were them two not there?
I wrote the same thing down. Why is Catherine not at Delilah's party?
I don't think she's ready yet. We saw in that she was kind of reluctant to even go to Delilah's house. Reverse that. Sorry, reluctant to even go to her house. So I don't think she's emotionally ready to deal with Delilah. She's still holding on to that whole problem.
But she took Hunter to Regina's
which was
tasting.
Yeah.
And she did take off her ring, so.
And they've been at other events together.
Yeah, you're right.
Throughout.
I forgot about that.
So
You're right.
I feel like this wound is still really fresh. It's only been 2 months, so I don't think that Catherine needs to be okay, you know what, everything's fine. I see her kind of working with Eddie and the two of them co-parenting pretty harmoniously so far, and I give her a lot of credit because I feel like Catherine doesn't have too much anger or resentment that she's holding on to, and she very well could.
Yeah.
She absolutely could, but I think that she's dealing with it
It's
pretty
about
well.
to get worse.
Yeah.
We'll talk
But she's
about
doing she's doing an amazing job as a both of them are doing an amazing job, I think, as co-parenting.
I know, and what really struck me this time was seeing Eddie come in, because it was he was coming to get Theo, and she says, "Oh, it's my time with him until 10," and then that struggle of, and he's like, "Well, can I please just go get ready to go?" Chris, "Oh, thanks, Mom, you're the best. Dad, I'm so excited." You know what I mean? The struggle of that co-parenting and how she kind of held on to that second best.
I was gonna say that as second best.
That second best moment. I think the thing that Catherine is struggling with a lot, which I totally can identify with, is that thing of mom guilt.
Yeah.
Not
she
being
gave
there
a
enough.
partner.
I know.
Which is insane, which I'm really still mad about, but
So did she actually take it on? I thought she wasn't.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
She said no
wants
because
to
of the
commit her time.
men not seeing how
can't
amazing
believe
she
that.
is as a woman, as a partner in her business role.
Just
but
for
whatever.
2 hours of the
I
day.
feel like if that realistically happened, in any boardroom across the country, that would not go down well at all, right?
I hope
to have
so.
2 hours off.
You would
a
think,
night?
but I really think in today's society that would happen.
It could.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have to say that.
Because there are,
Especially
I just think there are some that will just be right, I'm going to power through it. They don't have family issues or kids to deal with.
They just care about money.
Yeah.
What can you do for the company? What can you do for us?
Wow.
2 hours away? Oh no, sorry.
Yeah.
That's what they think about.
I guess I don't know. I don't agree with it.
I don't either.
Anyway, that's old news.
Right.
Let's talk about Eddie and how he kind of related to Sophie and bonded with her through their music. How do you guys deal with sadness? Are you guys deflectors? Let's not talk about it, kind of like what Sophie was feeling, or are you more dive in? Let's go deep fast to get all these emotions out?
I think I'm the type to deflect at first I need time to process. I need time to myself. Then maybe, depending on what it is, days later, maybe a week later, then I'll want to talk to like one person.
Sure.
And then maybe graduate to two. But I probably would keep it at two of my closest, like, best friends, like something like, depending on what the situation is.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Like, I would deflect, let it process, let it marinate, like sink in, and then like them two did through their music, and then perhaps approach the situation depending as well on the person and the situation, and just confront it, just to let it go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I confront it head on. I just,
Are you really?
Yeah,
Are
as
you?
soon as there's an issue, I want to talk about it. I want to work through it right away. I don't want to bury it inside. And I think that works for me most of the time.
Yeah.
That's not what I would expect from you, Maggie.
Oh, I'm just,
Actually, no, I think I did kind of
yeah,
expect that to
I'm
be.
very, I'm very like sensitive and emotional, so I want to deal with those emotions right away. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big moment, I think, for Sophie because it's the first Christmas without her dad. And it's like
Right.
every little thing that she's going through is going to remind her of him in some way. I mean, it's just, especially because it's only been a couple of months and, you know, that wound is still fresh. But I thought it was really cool how Eddie handled it. I really, like, this was sort of a winning moment for me with Eddie.
I agree.
Where he,
Over sandwiches. I wouldn't have thought about that. That was how he correlated his life and hers together over sandwiches and spicy mustard and
yeah.
yeah, that was smart. I wouldn't have thought about that.
That was a really, really good dad tactic. I was pretty impressed with that, and
Do you-
spicy mustard.
Do you ladies think that he is kind of trying too hard to be John? To step in and be John and be friends with Sophie, knowing his angle of maybe wanting to be with Delilah?
I don't think so, because I think that he and Sophie have a really close relationship because he is her guitar instructor.
Yeah.
And I think that she's been taking guitar from him for years, so they've always been close. And it seems like because this friend group is so close, he's always been Uncle John, so he's always been around. You know, if Gary and Sophie were in that scene instead of Eddie and Sophie, I think, you know, we would feel the same way. Like, wow, how heartwarming, you know, that he stepped in.
Yeah, I think conversely, it would have been weirder had he pulled away. You know what I mean? Like, because they had such a close, intimate relationship, and because they have this music relationship that bonds them, and they've had for a long time, I think that it would have been more awkward if he had pulled away and changed their relationship as a result of everything that's happening behind the scenes.
But I also think it's because, given of the circumstances, things that have happened, he's feeling like he needs to step up as a father figure, because he then even calls as Santa Claus and tells Catherine,
I loved
I
that.
wish I
That
would
was
have done
so-
better.
Yeah.
I would have.
It's a
And
second chance.
Exactly. And I think he's
100%
utilizing it. Yeah.
It's a second chance for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think yeah, exactly what you're saying. Like, I think a lot of what's happening with Delilah right now and this new baby and all of that, it's like a chance for him to look at it through fresh eyes. You know, I mean, he even said he was drunk half the time when Theo was born, and there was a lot that he missed. So now I think he's getting a second chance at life and a second chance at being a father.
Yeah.
So
I love that Delilah said, like, you're being a good dad today.
Yes.
Oh, that was sweet.
It broke.
No.
No, first of all,
she goes, no.
It broke I was gonna say this. It broke my heart though on Eddie's side, because like I hate this whole situation that they do not acknowledge the fact that this is Eddie's baby. I don't like this secret. I don't like this elephant in the room. I hate this.
No.
But Takira, what?
They that part that was disgusting. I was let me calm down. I wanted to step in the middle of them and be like, no, heck no, get it out the way, because you can't. One, they need to make up their minds.
True.
This whole saying that it's John and it's not. No, if you're going to say it's John's, it's John's. Don't call me dad, occasionally. Let's not pretend, because you know what? Fantasy is so much more powerful than real life. And so if they're completely toying with the fantasy of this child being theirs and them raising it and him being there, that's a fantasy that they're building, and it's going to ultimately blow up in their face. So
It definitely
she needs to
will.
draw that line, because it's
I
going
just want
to
them
happen.
to say that it's Eddie's baby. I
Yeah.
just need that to happen.
Well, ultimately, there's a number of ways how this can blow up in their face, but I think ultimately the truth is going to come out.
Oh,
Either now
certainly.
or later, and it
Yeah.
should be like now.
No, it'll come out in the most dramatic way possible.
yeah.
Waiting to happen.
It's only,
That's
she's
my
only
storyline.
14 weeks, so she's got a long time, not a ton of time, but she's got a long time to sort of wrap this idea around her head. The thing that I think about, like, from a practical standpoint is, like, when this baby grows up and thinking that John is his dad, like, what about medical histories? What about, like, all, you know what I mean? Like, all of these things that go into
And they get a
creating a human.
Ancestry.com kit.
Right? I'm telling you, like, somehow 23andMe is gonna like blow this situation up.
Right.
I'll save mine, but I think that has a lot to do with my prediction on how it's gonna be founded, and what you just said is definitely I think personally, but
Okay.
yeah.
Can't wait for predictions.
Right. I know. Well, we'll get there for sure. We got 3 more couples to go through, but before we get to our next couple, Miss Tay, can you give us a little message from AfterBuzz?
Yes, AfterBuzzers. Guess what? Our network produces after shows for all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi. There's no other network that works harder to serve our television fans, but of course, we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels, and by subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz grow. And if you're worried about those notifications, don't worry, because they are so optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel, and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. For now, but thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
We could not do it without you guys. We say it
Yes.
each and every week. Thank you
We
a
are
million
also on
times.
Spotify, so please look out.
Yeah, and if you're joining us in the live chat right now, we got Yasmine is up on monitoring that.
it
So
all
if
out.
you have any comments or you want to jump in, share your thoughts, please do, because maybe we'll read them on air. And we have anybody that's
what are they
Quite a few.
saying?
They're
That's
all
chatting
just,
right
you
now?
know, there's Avalon, Brooks. We're talking about, okay, there's quite a few comments here.
so many things.
So Avalon saying, are we sure that John committed suicide now? That would be the big ugly joke. What if he was murdered? Okay. And it would be a lazy
That would be a
thing.
twist.
I think we did
No
talk about that like really
way.
early in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
season.
He jumped.
And
Ashley pushed him. No, I'm kidding.
Oh gosh.
I'm kidding.
Jesus. No, because we saw her
I
run
know.
up.
No, she
That would.
wouldn't.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Brooks thinks Sophie finding out about the pregnancy was anticlimactic. Well, I think it was just time to come out, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
See, I thought that she was going to throw the curtain back and
Yeah.
then overhear something, but the doctor said it, and it was kind of anticlimactic. I
She
agree.
could have like stormed off or
But why would she? What she has no reason to right now. She has because she's not
Right
aware
now.
of. She's not aware of the affair
Right now.
So
Right.
right now, all she knows is that her dad died and her mom's pregnant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I guess I meant like it for anyone to find out that John was the real dad. I would have loved for Sophie to overhear them having that conversation and she ripping past the curtain like, "What did you just say?"
That's what I
that's
thought
what
was going to
I
happen.
want.
Storm out.
Yeah,
I
Something.
need
That's
some
what I
type
thought
of
was
hit
gonna
the
happen.
fan situation with this.
Yeah.
I need it to
So-
happen. This is my
Well-
favorite like storyline that I need for something to happen.
clearly you don't have to overhear anything in this circle of friends because they just come out and word vomit everything. Starting with the doctor who just was like, "Oh, don't worry, the baby's fine." I'm like,
HIPAA.
Yeah.
"Hello, HIPAA violation,
Yeah,
please."
that's what Avalon Park was wondering as well. That's
Yeah.
a true HIPAA violation right there.
It's like that doctor could be fired for that one comment. No,
It's TV.
like anyway,
Right.
I know it is.
Yeah.
And then Delilah spilling the beans about about Ashley's scarf to Maggie.
Yeah.
You're just like, blah, 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 let me tell you all
Yeah.
my information.
No one could really actually hold water in this group.
Not at all.
Actually, Rome can't. He's awkward.
No.
He's so awkward.
It's cute awkward. It's cute awkward.
Speaking of Rome,
Yes.
let's chat about Rome and Regina. So Rome is having a little trouble in the bedroom because of the medication, or so he claims, I guess. And that, I don't know. Is that
It
educate
is-
me? Is that an
yes?
is
So
that
that is
side
a
effect?
legitimate side effect of antidepressants.
Okay.
Is the loss of sexual desire.
okay?
I believe it.
I can believe that.
Of course.
You know what? I think he really, before that, and he kind of mentioned it, and I'm kind of glad that he did, because in my mind, I'm like, I know that that's a side effect, but I really think one of the reasons, like, why he was depressed, why he's not feeling himself, is he brought it up. There's a lot of pressure, I think, on men to be the quote head of household. And I know times are changing, and women bring in a lot of the income nowadays, and that's kind of what we might think as old school. But if you look to guys like my husband, we just had this conversation. My husband was raised with that intent, like you don't. Like you got to be the man of the house. We're very religious. It's even in the Bible. So there's a lot of pressure, and I think it's natural for Rome to feel like he has to bring all of that to the table. So when you take that piece of manhood, that's difficult for a man to struggle with. So
especially with the type of father that he has, the environment that he was raised in as well, that's like so strong and tough, and he's just quit his job in order to really like focus on himself and be there for his wife. But it's just tough. It is tough. A lot of pressure for men.
Yeah, I think we're at the forefront of that movement in terms of like the generations that we're now raising are going to be the generations that grow up with the belief that men and women can be equal partners and bring in equal amounts of money or whatever it is that to the marriage or to the partnership that is that there's no real like one head of household.
Right. Social, economical, political.
Exactly.
All of that just equal.
I think we're like just now getting to the point where that is, because it is all about how how you're raised and what's ingrained in you and those stories that you've been told your entire life, even if as an adult now you consciously choose a different story, it's learning how to rewire everything that's been ingrained. And I think that that's really what that Rome is struggling with right now is that idea of fighting who he is, quote unquote, as a man,
and how he's been programmed,
to be what a man means, and what that looks like. So,
and I was just gonna say I gotta hand it to Regina because she's handling that situation so well. Because I feel like a lot of women in that situation may feel rejected. They may feel like, why is my partner not sexually attracted to me? Are they getting that satisfaction elsewhere, but she was so graceful about it, and she was saying, what, I'm going to support you no matter what, and I'm going to keep showing up for you and showing up for us, and I'll be here no matter what.
Let me know what you need me to do. She's like the ultimate everything. She's the best friend, best wife. She's everything.
Love her.
She really is. I need to find a flaw about her, because right now I'm like, I want to be Regina.
No, we need a perfect character in this show.
We want a good character in this.
She is sort of like the strong constant of this friend group. I will say, like we have a lot of kites, and she's definitely the rock,
the constant one
for the visual
crew. Let's move on to Gary and Maggie and chat about them really quickly. So Gary gets a Christmas wish and finds out that Maggie is doing chemo, but not before a myriad of entertaining situations. First, they go to the Christmas tree lot to get some more lights, and they bond over cancer with the jerks that cut them off in their Christmas line. I loved that moment. I loved seeing them together in just a friendship sort of way, and also in a way that was like, hey, remember we have this really unique thing that brings us together that not everybody can understand. Let's have a little fun with it. And I love how they did.
Pure sarcasm, and they remind me of myself when it comes to that. Like if I have something deep down that that's bothering between us, we would need like an icebreaker. Let's be sarcastic around other people together. Hey, I love that they did that.
Yeah, I mean, it's ironic because it goes back to the first meeting that they had, and the way that they were just always so sarcastic, so much banter between them. So it kind of was inevitable that was meant to happen. Yeah, and then ultimately how it snowballed into him finding out that she is taking chemo. Which the way that it was opened up was the right way.
So let's talk about that moment, because I think we had mixed reactions among the group. I don't know. Did we all love the moment about him saying that he loved her, and then he finds out that she's they storm out. Delilah spills the beans about the scarf. She storms out. She's like, and he's like, I know I'm having sex with people. You know I'm having sex with people because I love you. So that's how he tells her for the first time that he loves her.
Hell no.
I'm like, no.
Big
I saw you roll your eyes at that point.
I was like, what mixed feelings? And then you just brought it back. I'm like, what? hell no. Like, if you love me,
that's stupid.
oh my God, you guys, you ladies, I love you so much that I'm going to sleep around with each one of your friends because I love you so much, and I want to express that love
That's
to you.
ridiculous.
I know it's a weird reasoning.
Gary, really?
I know. I'm not okay. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Don't blow me up in the chats. But I'm just gonna say, like, I understand. I understand Gary's. I don't get his impulses, but I see them for what they are. Like, not clinically, but I can just see them.
Ashley was a rebound.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have to. The definition literally of a rebound is you rebound your feelings onto that person to feel better about this other person, or to balance and level out your frustrations
But
and
wrong
heartache.
timing of saying, like, hey, I'm going to say that, but it's because I love you. I'm in love with you. Oh, okay.
Everything's okay
Like,
now. No.
like, that's supposed to be a beautiful moment. You're just going to hit me with that, too?
Well, she perched on that.
Yeah.
But he does love her, and
Yes.
he's not told her that all season long because of the cancer and everything else that they've
wasn't
been.
the right
That
time.
was not perfect timing, Gary.
Yeah.
Say it later. Like, that's supposed to be a beautiful moment.
But what could he have said then?
Just
What could he have said that would have had the same effect?
Well, he could have elaborated on why he did sleep with Ashley. Like, look, I thought you and I were over. My heart was broken. I was
Right.
looking for comfort in another place.
oh, that's so
agree.
logical, and Gary is not logical.
That's very true.
Very
He's not.
emotional somehow.
It's such a very logical response, and he's all emotion all
Yeah,
the time. I
true.
feel like so.
I love that man.
I know. I do too.
He kissed Maggie after she threw up in his brand new car.
Okay, exactly.
The
That was
logicalness
right.
of that. I'm sorry. I love you so much, but I'm not gonna kiss you right after you throw up.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That's where the unconditional love kind of draws the line
But
for
he
me.
was so overwhelmed by his discovery.
Oh, I would have. I'm not gonna lie.
I would have too because
Yeah.
okay, so now we're all moving from that
You
moment.
get a
of,
peck.
we don't love the "I love you." She throws up in his car. He realizes she's doing doing the chemo, and they have this
Oh my God.
It was a beautiful moment. I will say
So
that.
beautiful.
I'm just in real life, just not kissing after you throw up.
no.
He kisses her chemo site.
That
know.
was
Yes.
amazing. That was beautiful.
That's
Right.
the
I just
only.
got chills all over my body actually.
Me
from
and
that.
I feel like that's the only reason why we're really vibing, because that's like proposing to me and getting sex the night that you propose to me, or the honeymoon, or like you have the ultimate commitment at this. This is the best we got as
Yeah.
far as commitment goes. You kiss my chemo scar.
Yeah.
You can take me now.
Just take me.
Take
Just
me
take
now.
me now.
Throw
I
up
know.
and all.
It was one of the more. I think it was because it was such a vulnerable moment for both of them. You know what I mean? Like she's sort of laying her literally life on the line there, and he's taking it and literally saying like, what you consider the worst of you is what I consider beautiful. And like
That sums it up.
that,
That's
it
so
was
beautiful.
We were all best moment. We were all teary. Yeah.
It was so
Because I've been so
beautiful.
mad at Maggie this whole
I know.
season. You guys know that, but that made me so happy.
So are you happy? Are you happy where
Yes.
they ended their relationship?
Yes.
Now we can be
Before hiatus.
angry with Ashley.
Ugh, this
Right.
never mind, sorry.
Leave our anger.
I'll hold that word.
Well, what a nice little segue. Before we talk about Ashley and Delilah and John and all of that craziness, guys, we love you. We love doing this. We love being here with you each and every week. We want to hear your thoughts, and we want to know, I don't know, if you agree with us, if you disagree with us, let us know. And the best way you can do that is by finding us on Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes, wherever you listen to your podcast, rating us, subscribing us, giving us 5 stars, leaving comments. If you're watching us in the YouTube, please keep the comments going after the show, because it's the best way for us to connect. And also, you guys all the time bring up perspectives that like we didn't even think about. So continue to do that. Let's just keep this conversation going. It's going to be long until January. So let's just keep it going until then.
In a month.
I know. But thank you for everything that you guys do. So let's talk about our final couple, John and Delilah. We get to know a little bit more about John in this episode. But we're going to end on that. We're going to talk first about Sophie obviously finding out about the baby. I think ultimately you thought it was a little bit of a letdown, right? Anticlimactic?
Yeah, but I think what might happen might be a little bigger, so I'll hold on to it.
Okay, that's right. She got a prediction. What about you guys?
Okay.
You guys were a little like, wah.
I mean, I'm glad it came out. It's supposed to come out at some point. I
Yeah.
just do wish it would have come out appropriately of it not being John's baby.
Yeah.
I'm just very stern on that. I really want
Because
this
I
to
just wonder
blow.
what's going to happen.
Right, that's true.
When it does come out.
Well, my question is when Sophie comes to the hospital and realizes that Delilah's pregnant, and then they get home, Delilah apologizes to Eddie. And she says, I'm sorry, she can hate me when she's 20, but I can't have her hating me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she apologizing?
Because she knows / there's been no testing that Eddie is the father, and she had an opportunity to pretty much acknowledge him. So it's kind of like a relationship when you're with your boyfriend or whatever, and then he's like, oh, this is my friend. It's like,
Not to your kid, though.
yeah, but she made a choice. Do I care more about his feelings, or do I care more about my child's feelings? I can't really replace my child. No offense whatsoever. I know what we had was cool and all.
Yeah.
I can replace you.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a choice of, I need to protect this person because you got to make a choice.
Yeah.
I feel like the Band-Aid needs to be ripped off now, though. Because
Yeah.
it's going to happen regardless.
Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
just feel like it should happen now rather than like 20 years, 10 years, 5 years from now.
Well,
Because
that-
eventually it's going to happen.
Well, that I forgot, and she ultimately said she was going to name the baby John.
Yes,
Which
and
is
that's
like
why
another,
I
like,
think
Sophie's
that.
idea.
that was the pinching
Right.
moment.
Yeah, we were all cringing
I was
on
like,
that
"Ugh."
moment.
No.
But I think for Delilah, I think that the wound of John leaving is still so fresh, especially for Sophie and Danny, that there's no way she wants to, blow all this up and be like, well, actually, I was also having an affair with your
Yeah.
Uncle Eddie, and the
it
baby
keeps
is his.
building
so
and
she
building.
just can't bear to add that stress and drop that bomb on her children.
Yeah, there's just too much going on.
I don't blame her at this point.
I don't either. I don't know that I
No.
would do that at this moment.
No.
It's
Well,
like
The resentment
one
is so
bomb at a
strong
time.
already, Yeah.
Okay, I give her to like New Year's. Because I feel like
Think about the situation though. If she, saying it now versus later on, it's true though. And when she's 20 or something, when she's older, she'll have a more grounding understanding of relationships.
Sure.
So at this
Sure.
point, the kids are young.
Yeah.
So they might be within their teenage years going through things that will be very destructive. And yes, okay, maybe later on as well, it can be destructive. However, they are old enough to also be more conscious of some of the dynamics that play into this situation.
Well, and especially if if and when they learn more about who John is, which we find out a little bit more about when Delilah gets served with papers.
it's just crazy.
And the moment before that, you guys, I mean, I kind of knew a bomb was about to be dropped because everybody's like singing and laughing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It was like
so
there's
yeah.
no
Happy moment like that laugh.
So lighthearted.
It's like a Disney
and happy.
moment. It was magical. Tinkerbell flying.
like Delilah makes this speech of gratitude, and it was just so joyful.
little
and I
too-
was like, this is not going to last long.
It was a little too
Virtually.
picture perfect, and so so she gets served with papers. We then see a flashback between John and Ashley. John leading her to an apartment that apparently he has been keeping, and them going inside and having a little smooch and closing the door. And his last words before they close the door being, "I'm not the man that everyone thinks I am."
Yeah, oof, that's creepy.
Well, we figured that out.
I mean, well, we all kind of knew that, but I'm glad that the writers showed it because
Yeah.
Right.
up until this point, all we've seen is like the sunny side of John, and you knew that there had to be another side of the story.
Yeah,
wanted
I
to
love what Brooks AG said in the chat.
Hey.
Said pretty much. I don't want to scroll all the way, but
know,
said pretty much that Ashley and John were not having an affair. Said studios always pull the bait to switch up promos. John having an affair would be too easy, and it would cancel out Delilah's cheating, which would defeat the whole purpose of the whole storyline. Even though I guess cheating and cheating it doesn't like count each other. Yeah, can't
Two
cancel each other.
cheatings don't make a great marriage.
Right, but I do see where Brooks is going, and it's almost like maybe Ashley we don't really see her having a father, we don't really see her having family at all, so maybe she assumed that that's what John wanted, and then when she kissed, he could have been like, no, that's not why you're here.
Right.
This is why you're here. And then, explained all of the whole $18 million worth of debt kind of thing.
Right.
So I like Brooks. I like your outlook on that.
See, now that Maggie has made me happy, Ashley is my new least favorite person. Because here's the thing. I feel like Ashley still hasn't given Delilah that blue envelope.
I know.
And that
But
could
she
have
will.
saved. It could have. John probably in that envelope. It was probably like John giving Delilah warning, like, "Look, this is actually what's happening." That she would have got all the answers, if she would have been warned, maybe.
Yeah, but she's also in conversation with this Donnie guy, whoever Donnie is, and she's
secrets.
just being like a little puppet master.
I don't understand why at this point now. Just let everybody know.
She's trying to protect people, and she's doing more harm than
She's
good.
doing a terrible job at this
for
point.
herself.
She needs to just get everything out in the open.
Right.
So
The way
but
John
maybe
intended.
yes,
But there
yes.
were certain instructions. Like
There were.
Yes.
And she didn't follow them.
no, but there must
At
be
all.
other instructions that
Oh,
she's
of
trying to
course.
follow, and that's why everything's going into the pan, to say it nicely.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Well, we will see. We will see in January 2019 when we come back. Guys, let's jump into our little special segment before we wrap up quickly. So our hashtag little things ABTV. Yes.
Yes.
Gosh, it's been a minute since I've said that. Little things ABTV, just the little thing that we took away from this particular episode. Yasmine, what you got?
Okay. It was tough. I honestly, it was tough because, throughout the series, it's always been about the importance of open communication. And that, again, it's like in this episode, as we've seen, that the things that Ashley has been hiding, not being upfront about certain things. And then as well, like, not Rome. Rome is being as open as he can be. But Gary, as well, like, to be honest with his feelings from the very beginning. So I guess like open communication is the one.
That's right.
And tying it in, just pretty much stop holding secrets because they're gonna blow up anyway later.
It's true. It's true.
I was gonna say honesty, so we're all on the same page here.
Yeah. Takira, what you got?
I'm going to say redemption. I'm going to say something a little different. I feel like redemption to fix things when you have that opportunity, freaking fix it.
Yep.
Like, just come out with it, own what you did wrong, and freaking fix it. Redemption.
I like it. A little redemption goes a long way. What about news, Maggie? We got some news to chat about. Sound of
There it is.
There we go.
I was like,
news coming.
awkward.
Okay, guys, big news for the second half of season 1 of A Million Little Things. We are moving to Thursday nights. So A Million Little Things will now be on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. following Grey's Anatomy. So I think that this is the perfect position for our show to be in because it's really going to boost viewership because all of the millions of fans of Grey's Anatomy are going to hang on and keep that TV on and watch A Million Little Things. So it's all good news. And just a reminder that we aren't back until January 17th. So we'll see you guys then.
So sad. I don't know what I'm going to do until then.
No.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about predictions.
Hey.
With you guys.
Your
That was cute.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, guys, really quickly, where do we think we will pick this crew up in the new year?
Okay.
Anybody can start, but I just looked at you.
No, I do believe, okay, Delilah and the baby, and it's really disheartening for me to say, but I think she's going to lose the baby.
I was thinking the same thing. But I was thinking after everyone finds out about
After everybody
John.
finds out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thinking
see
as
that
well.
happening.
And then, I think Gary and Maggie, we saw a little tidbit of her running, so I hope she survives. That's my prediction, like my hope and desire of it.
Does she need to be running on chemo is my
Yeah,
question.
why-
But you know what? We'll get into that
they
in
say
January.
sports
Figure
is
it
like
out.
it keeps you living longer, but I don't know if whilst you're sick, that's the truth.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. there's so many to go into, so I'll let you go for the next one.
I'm still gonna hold on to the whole Eddie and Delilah baby situation's gonna blow up. Still gonna hold on to that. Actually waiting for it, and I'm still going to say that John has a secret family that we don't know about still.
Yes. And piggybacking on that, in the promo for the next episode, we did see Constance Zimmer.
Yep.
So I think that the family is Constance Zimmer, and she has, a secret child that was John's love child. So we're gonna find all that out. And then I'm also really concerned about Eddie going back on tour.
That was going to be my question for you guys.
Yes, and I think that we're going to see him really struggle with wanting to drink, and I really hope he doesn't, but we'll see.
Yeah. What about you, Miss Tay? I mean, Takira, do you got any?
That's what I was going to ask you guys, if you thought that Eddie was going to go back on alcohol. I kind of already gave my spell on Ashley and John. I feel like she may not have been the affairs per se, but that she was there to pretty much either help him or cover up his money embellishment. But Catherine, she's now stepping in to help Delilah, and I feel like she's going to be one of the ones that finds out through this whole DNA hereditary thing. So if she's trying to be a real estate attorney and figure out who's going to get what and whatever, at some point in time, I feel like all of her investigation is going to kind of lead to something like that. So.
Totally. My prediction is that the baby is actually John's. I don't know.
I actually thought about that in the episode, but I don't want it to happen just for drama purposes.
I don't want it to happen either, but I think I think that's my prediction. Yep. So we will find out in January. Sorry, guys, we got to go. They're kicking us out. So
sorry, Avalon.
Sorry, Avalon. We will talk to you guys in the comments. For now, I'm Laura Thomas Sonn. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Laura Thomas Sonn.
I'm Maggie Clark, and you can find me at Maggie Clark on camera on Instagram and at Maggie on camera on Twitter.
And I'm Tay Alexandria. You can find me at Tay Alexandria TV everywhere.
And I'm Yasmine Tanres, and you can also find me everywhere at Yasmine Tanres.
Takira, where can we find you?
And I'm Takira Shabrae. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Takira_Shabrae, and on the Tomorrow Show on Wednesdays, the Not Sam Network.
Yeah, we will see you guys in the new year. Have a happy holidays, happy new year. We will see you on January 17th.
Happy New Year.
Bye, guys.
Happy holidays. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.